Hi there, welcome to the Wellness Center. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Yeah, my name is Daisy and I will be a wellness associate today. Let me ask you once. Yeah, please be comfortable if you want to sit on the couch or if you prefer lying down on the bed, that's totally fine with me. Please go ahead and lie down. Yeah, be comfortable. The intention of this session is to make people comfortable and also we'll make sure we have some lifestyle changes if it's necessary. I'm definitely sure that you're having one of the most healthiest lifestyles. But let's discuss some things. If you need some clarifications from my end, yeah, yes, you could call me a nutritionalist, dietitian, whatever name you would like to suggest. Just that we are working towards making life better. Yep. And this session, could you please give me some information about you so that I can record it? Yes, may I have your name, please? Your age, okay, and where do you come from? All right, and have you visited any wellness, this kind of sessions or a dietitian before in your life? How was your previous experience from a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the best and 1 being not so like the least score? How much would you rate the experience with the wellness or a dietitian? Okay, great. That will be the information that I require from you. And for your information, this session is going to be completely complimentary, and we are not charging anything for this session. It's a complimentary session. And once you are done with the session, if you prefer to take a 1 month personalized training and coaching from our team, we could give you more information. Let's not get into that right now. First, you be relaxed. Just I see a little tension on your shoulders. I can see your shoulders are a little stiff. Let it be relaxed. Just sit comfortably and relaxed. Do you want me to grab a cup of cool drinks, coffee, water, whatever you prefer? All good? Okay, that's great. Thank you. And so let me ask you about your sleep first. Okay. Do you mind if I ask some personal questions like eating habits, sleep? All good? Okay, check. So, what time did you sleep last night? First, okay, how was your day last day? How was your day? Was it stressful? How would you rate it? Was it a peaceful day? Did you have a lot of stress at work? Were you anxious? Were you happy, sad? Did you just explain it in a single word? Okay, that's good. And what time did you sleep last night? All right. And did you get a minimum of 6 to 8 hours of sleep? What time did you wake up? Okay, you had a solid 7 hours of sleep last night. That's good for your age. So my next question is that is it always consistent that you always get this amount of sleep, or is it like once a while you get 7 to 8, and some days you go less than 5, and some days you go beyond 10? Is it like that, or you always tend to get a consistent amount of sleep like 7 to 8 hours? That is perfect. That's perfect. Yeah. Could you open your eyes for me? A little wide. Just like that. Yeah. Mm, okay. Could you stick out your tongue for me? Just open your mouth a little. All right. Good. Okay. So doesn't look bad. We don't find any tiredness on your eyes. Now let's see if we could look at your sleep pattern is fine. Do you sleep in the daytime? Some days when you get an off day, when you don't have work, do you sleep in the daytime? Do you tend to do that? Very occasionally. Okay. Yeah, everything looks perfect until now. That's good. That's perfect. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. My eyes are looking a little tired. Yeah, good catch there. I've been working late nights. Even I'm struggling with my sleep right now, not because I'm intentionally not sleeping. My schedule at work has been a little bit difficult for me to manage a good amount of sleep. So, yeah, that's what happens when you don't get the right amount of sleep. So, this is a good example for you. You know, it's much important. I would say, if you get a good amount of sleep, diet is secondary for you. Having a balanced diet is always important, but yeah, sleep is the primary thing before having a balanced diet, I would say. All right. Okay. So now let's get into your eating habits. Okay. Tell me, how many meals do you have in a day? Is it two, three, or just once? Some days, or it depends on the days. Does it change based on your schedule? Okay. What I would recommend, I can't recommend based on individual, but yeah, I would recommend 2 to 3 times meal a day. And I would ask you to, if you could avoid snacking, that would be a good thing to do. That's a good habit to start. And could you, so you're saying that you always follow a schedule. You have a breakfast, you have a lunch, and you have dinner, right? That's very good. That's a very good habit, good practice there. And could you just tell me what is your timings for each of the meal, or that's also fixed, or is it you have it at different time of the day? Or maybe I was trying to say that some days maybe you're working, so you have to have a early breakfast, and maybe on your off day, maybe on your holidays, you might have it on a different time, or is it always consistent for you? Okay, okay. What do you usually prefer for breakfast? Yeah, I'm not saying that you should always have the same thing, not like a fixed menu, but what you prefer mostly. Okay, eggs are there. Right. Do you eat bread daily for your breakfast? Do you include breads in your? How often do you uh, include packaged juice in your breakfast? How often? Like I could say maybe twice in a week, thrice a week, almost every day. Could be that. All right. And do you have fresh fruit juice? Okay. All right. Let me ask you this: how much sugar do you consume? Do you think? I'm not saying I'm. No, no. I'm not asking you to say. Tell me the amount of sugar that you consume. Like how many grams of sugar? No, no one can really do that. But on a scale of 1 to 5, how often do you have sugar for your breakfast? Could be maple syrup. Could be for your coffee. Some people prefer their coffee without any sugar. So based on that, all right. Just give me a moment in between so that I can make notes. So we are going to get you a balanced diet meal plan, and we will send it over to you. You can consider that. You can just go through it, and if you'd like to, you could make some changes according to that. Yeah. And for lunch, what do you prefer? Okay. How often do you take a rice for your lunch? Almost never. Okay. Do you eat eggs with your lunch as well, or is it just for the breakfast? What kind of meat do you prefer? You prefer red meat or white meat? Okay, depends on the mood. Okay, all right. Thank you. So that's with the lunch. And sorry, I forgot to ask you about the timing of the lunch. How? What is the most preferred time for lunch? Okay, thank you. So that's about the lunch. And now let's go to dinner. Dinner. Do you? Well, that might be one of the most favorite meal for many people. So how late do you? I'm not asking you for time for dinner. How late do you uh, go? Sometimes. Okay, it doesn't go beyond 8 p.m. That's a very good practice. I would suggest ideal time to have a dinner is 7 p.m. to around 8 p.m. If you could close by that, it would be a very good practice in your life. But yeah, sometimes the life commitments doesn't allow us to have a proper meal plan or have a scheduled meals. So it happens. That's totally understandable, and sometimes we have to adjust like that. That happens. So dinner. Do you? Could you answer me this? Will dinner be the most heaviest meal for you in a day? Like the most wholesome, most calorie high meal for the day would be dinner? Yes or no? Now, a few more questions regarding your eating habits. How often do you skip your meals? Like someday you feel like fasting, like what people are doing, something like intermittent fasting, where they only eat in 8 hours, 8 hours duration, and then they skip their meals for the next 16 hours of the day. So, do you practice any of that sort? Okay, thank you. Okay, now let's first talk about your sleeping. Sleeping, well, I find sleeping to be very nice. You had not much flaws in your sleeping habits. You're doing pretty good in your sleeping part. Just that avoid that's those late sleep on your holidays or off days, because that could disturb your rhythm of the body. The brain get confused like when should I sleep. So if you could keep a time, constant sleeping time, that would be fine, and try to get 6 to 8 hours sleep on daily basis. And you can also avoid that afternoon nap if it's not necessary. If you really feel tired, definitely you could go ahead and have a nap, but don't go beyond a nap. Don't oversleep in the daytime. That's one thing I could say about your sleep. And about your eating habits, everything seems to be good. You have 3 times a meal, three times a day, and you have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You avoid snacking. You avoid oily foods. Sugar intake can be reduced by a bit. Avoid processed sugar, and try to have more fruit based sugar. And processed sugar means anything you add as an external source which is not artificial, maybe what you find in your packaged fruit drinks, which comes in that beautiful tetra packs. Maybe you could uh, try to avoid that. And do you consume any Coke or Pepsi? Okay, that's perfect. One important question I forgot to ask you, which should have been asked in the beginning of the session. What is your water intake like? How much amount of water do you take in a day? And when do you take those? You're not sure? Whenever you feel thirsty? Okay. Here I would suggest you to have at least 2 to 3 liters of water, depending on your body measurements. And try to always start your day with a glass of water. Whenever you start a day, try to have a entire glass of water before you begin your day, and after your meals, and also before going to sleep. Don't gulp the water is one thing I can tell you. Try to have it in a sip. Just have sips of water. That's a better way to have your water. Don't gulp it in one go. Don't take it top to bottom. Also, one last final honest question. Okay, do you drink or smoke? Drink alcohol or smoke cigarettes? That's what I mean. Thank you. That's perfect. Very good. Okay, so we are done with the eating habits. Now about the diet. About diet, we're done. We're done with the sleep. I just want to ask you about your exercise habits. How often do you work out in a week? No, it could be 1 to 2 days, or even no workout at all, a brisk walk. Anything is. What do you work out? Okay. And do you do it at your home, or do you go to a gym in a professional gym? Okay. How many steps do you walk in a day? No, I don't want the exact number of steps. How many, what distance do you think you would cover in a day by walk? Could be 500 meters, 600 meters, 1 kilometer. Okay. So you mostly stick to cardio more than weight training. Mm. Is it because you like it, or is it because you're focusing on cardio more? Okay. Yeah, 2 to 3 days is definitely fine. From looking at you, and by looking at your eating habits, I can definitely say you don't need any extreme diet plans or extreme starving kind of diet plans, or skipping meals, or extreme workouts to keep in balance. But yeah, you should concentrate more on your protein intake in your diet, and avoid unwanted sugar. Also, try to walk a little bit more, which is going to benefit you. And please, you don't have to spend much time doing that. Just like it's not like you go to a gym and spend hours over there, or maybe half an hour to 1 hour over there. So keep a track on your steps. That's one thing I can talk about your plan. But yeah, we'll be sending you out a detailed plan from your analysis. So you can go through that. You can keep any changes if you'd like to, and always get 2 points, which I would stress. Always get good sleep. That is minimum 6 to 8 hours of undisturbed, peaceful sleep, relaxed sleep, and drink your water. Take your water. Don't get dehydrated. You mentioned about your fatigue. Sometimes that's not because of laziness, it just happens because you're dehydrated. So always keep your water bottle handy and take a sip whenever you feel. Yeah, first you can feel it on your lips. It gets dry. Now I kind of feel a little dehydrated. Okay, that's it about it. So thanks for coming to the wellness center. I hope you had a wonderful session with us, because I can feel that you look relaxed right now. When you started the session, you feel little tension on your face and your shoulders. So now you feel much more relieved. I'm glad to see that. Thanks for coming by. Have a, it's almost 8 in the night. Have your dinner. Make it simple, not too heavy. But eat whatever you like, feel like, but try to make it little light. Have a, I mean, you can have whatever you like to, but you can reduce it on the portion size. A smaller portion of what you like. Yeah. So you have a good sleep tonight, and consider looking at the email which you received from the wellness center, and consider taking the plan if you'd like to. Thank you so much for coming by. You have a very good night sleep. Good night. Good night from JC Wellness Center. Good night. Good night.